Thanks for tuning into the channel. I'm Nicholas One and continuing on with what I would call golf fundamentals. And today's golf lesson is all about width of stance. Now, width of stance, we have a basic rule of thumb. When you're swinging your irons, we're at shoulder width. When you're swinging your driver, we're outside shoulder width. But really, at the end of the day, if we look into it a little bit deeper, it does come down to the individual. How much flexibility you have will determine how wide your feet actually need to be. So if you've got a hip sway issue or you feel like you've got a flexibility issue, let's have a look at what width of stance can do for you as an individual to help you either hit the ball a little bit further or find a little bit more stability. So let's get into it. Now, if you're new to the channel, please consider hitting the subscribe button. It's completely free to do. Make sure you hit the bell, make sure you hit the share, and like I said, give it a thumbs up. The more people that do that, the more content that I can put out there. Now, if you are somewhere in Western Australia and you want to come see me individually for golf lessons, you can come see me here at X Golf Balcatta. If you are somewhere else around the world, you can hit me up through an app called Swing Index. All the information is down below. Now, width of stance. Like I said, as a basic rule of thumb, when setting up with an iron, you want to keep it what I would call shoulder width. When you're swinging and driving, because the club's a little bit longer, you might want to get slightly outside of shoulder width. But the issue is it all comes down to you as an individual, how flexible you are and how much shoulder rotation you can get based upon yourself. So it's going to take you a little bit of experimenting on yourself whilst hitting some golf balls to see how much range of motion you have. Now, if you're an old person and you are a little bit stiff or you've got some sort of injury and you can't get massive amounts of shoulder turn, then you need to understand that you need to get your stance a little bit narrower. Yes, you lose a little bit of stability, but it's going to help you to create more turn, which is then going to help you to generate more power. So if we're looking at it in a basic principle, your femur or the top bones of your legs, the straighter they are, the more rotation you're going to have. The wider the femurs get, as in pointing outwards, the less rotation you're going to get from the lower half, but the more stability you're going to have. So go and look at yourself as an individual and see how much rotation you can get by having your femurs slightly outwards. I want you to start at that point because for me, stability is a very, very important factor when it comes to hitting a golf ball. If you feel like you can only get a small amount of shoulder turn from having your femurs pointing outwards, then you need to narrow it, because what I want you to try and do is to try and get at least 90 degrees of shoulder rotation, because if you can do that, you're going to generate more club head speed and more power, and you're going to be able to turn backwards in your backswing, but also forwards in your forward swing. But like I said, you are going to lose stability. So the key fundamental really for the individual is to start wide, try and get as much turn as you can, and then start to slightly narrow that stance to see how much more turn you can gain. The more turn you can gain, like I said, the further you're going to hit the ball. So it really comes down to you as an individual. Yes, when you're hitting your driver, you do want to be a little bit wider, simply because the club is a little bit longer. The center of mass or the mass of the club head is further away from you, and it's going to create instabilities in your swing. So when you have a driver, make sure that you are a little bit wider, but experiment with what I would call a 6 or 7 iron first of all to see how wide you can get to gain maximum rotation. Once you've done that a few times, keep working on it, and then like I said, once you hit your driver, get a little bit wider again, just because you're going to require that little bit more stability because you are going to have that club a little bit further away. Very simple things that you can do to make big changes to the overall picture of your golf swing is only going to help you improve at this game a lot more. So start wide, see how much turn you can get, and then slightly narrow it until you can get what I would call 90 degrees of upper body turn, and then from there you can then start to work on a little bit wider for your driver. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, hit the bell. See you next time on ND Golf.